What's going on, everybody? It's Jimmy from TP Game Boys, and this is going to be my first Call of Duty Vanguard video. Very excited to be bringing it to you, so let's get into it. This video is a first impressions, kind of a should you buy review of Call of Duty Vanguard, talking about some of the things that I really like about the game, talking about some things that I don't love about the game, and overall just giving you my first impressions of the newest Call of Duty. And honestly, this is going to be a better video than my usual first impressions on Call of Duty. Normally, I don't end up loving the game right away, as you know from my Infinite Warfare video a few years back, as you know about my Cold War video from last year, and even my Modern Warfare 2019 video. I don't think I was in love with the game when it initially dropped. So this is kind of a refreshing change of pace for me. Very, very excited for this year in Call of Duty, so let's get right into it. Before we dive into my impressions on the game, though, quick word on the gameplay. This is a domination game. I think it's like a 10v10, but I think I have a full squad of 6 of the boys, so it's a really hectic gameplay. I don't do super well in terms of KD, but we win the game, and I'm constantly fighting on this B flag kind of in the middle. So really great gameplay overall. Gives you a real good impression of what the game is actually about, rather than, this, bullshit idea that everyone just gets, 60 kills and 3 deaths. No, this is a real Call of Duty Vanguard gameplay, so buckle in. It's a great time. First thing I want to say about the game is, in terms of first impressions, the game looks and feels great. It looks and feels a lot like Modern Warfare 2019. So if you enjoyed the engine of Modern Warfare 2019, how the movement worked, how your speed was, how your character kind of interacted with the world around them, you're going to very much enjoy the game on a surface level. The color palette is fantastic. I love kind of how they've blended the World War II and like Black Ops 1 era colors, where it looks very colorful. There's a lot of pop to the maps, but it also looks very grounded in reality. They do a really good job with that. So the game on a surface level is very well polished. It runs great in terms of how you are interacting with the world, and the world itself looks really, really good. There's not a whole lot of stuff that I'm looking at and going, wow, that looks crappy, or wow, this map doesn't, feel fun, like a lot of other Call of Duty games recently where the maps just seem silly in terms of how they look. The maps look really good, and for the most part they play pretty well. A lot of the maps that I've played so far, despite the fact that they aren't perfect 3-lane maps, which is my preference for a Call of Duty game, they all seem to work pretty well. Even the ones that have like 13 angles looking towards the middle, like Eagle's Nest does, a lot of the maps still in some way work within the context of the game mode that you're playing. So there's never a point where you're like, wow, this just straight up doesn't work, and that's really refreshing. Unlike Call of Duty 2019 and Cold War, where there were a lot of times where you were just left scratching your head like, what is going on? None of this makes sense. Vanguard fixes a lot of that. Huge dub in that regard. The second thing that I'm really pleased with so far are the guns. The guns are very fun to be using, and they don't seem overly easy. I was watching some older gameplays of like Call of Duties prior to Modern Warfare 2019, and all of the guns kind of behave in a very similar way. They don't feel unique. None of them really behave as individual assets, and that's not the case with Call of Duty 2019, or rather Call of Duty Vanguard. That's not the case. What's happening 90% of the time that you pick up a gun, it feels totally different from the gun you were just using. So for example, in this gameplay I'm using the STG-44, but in another gameplay that I'll have uploaded later this week, I'm using the Tommy gun, and they feel drastically different. Even though they're different weapon classes, a lot of times the guns can feel very similar in terms of how they hit, how they recoil, all of that stuff, and that's not the case in this game, and I think that also ties back to this being on that Modern Warfare 2019 engine. The guns feel very individualized, and that's really great for people like me who, when you maybe have 5 AR loadouts, you don't want them to all feel like the same AR. It gives it an older Call of Duty vibe where it's like the F2000 is very different from the M4. That's exactly what you're getting right now. The MP40 is very, very different from the Tommy gun. The STG is very different from the Volkstrom, whatever it's called, or the NZ41. These are all very different feeling weapons, not just how they kill or the time to kill. They feel different, along with looking different and behaving different. And that's a very hard balance to hit while keeping all of the guns viable. Now, of course, a medal will come out in the next few months. I'm sure the MP40 will be towards the top of that list, and maybe some guns that I haven't seen too much yet because they haven't been unlocked. Maybe those will kind of fit into the meta also, but for the most part, at this skill level and where the game is day one, the guns feel very unique, they feel very well balanced, and it doesn't feel like anything is unusable yet. The third thing that I'm very, very happy with are the kill streaks. The kill streaks, for a long time in Call of Duty, like Ghosts through maybe Black Ops 3, the kill streaks weren't fun. They weren't very interesting, they weren't really dynamic, they didn't do anything that was like, wow, like older Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, etc. They didn't do those things for me. They didn't do it for me, at least. In this game, and the last couple of Call of Duties even, the kill streaks are very satisfying. The Flamestream Worker guy, the Flamesuit Juggernaut, very fun to be using. I got like a mega kill on Castle using one. It's a lot of fun. And then there's other kill streaks, like the bombing run is super fun. They've polished the glide bomb, and the glide bomb is a lot easier to use now. Everything is very interesting. I like how it looks and how it feels as I'm playing it. The dogs are super cool. Like, I haven't gotten dogs yet. I just unlocked them a minute ago, but seeing them in the world when I've been playing is like, wow, it's super, super satisfying, which other games have not been able to hit for me recently. Cold War even. The kill streaks were not that fun, not that interesting. This is very much like Modern Warfare 2019, where the kill streaks are very fun, very satisfying, and not impossible to get. They all seem like pretty reasonable totals to unlock. So kudos to Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and Treyarch, whoever's really putting this game together on making the kill streaks a lot more fun. Okay, on to some negatives. Couple negatives. The main one that I'm experiencing so far, and you can call me a bot, I don't care. Some of the guns feel very recoily. They feel like they have a lot of recoil to them, which once the new Vanguard Call of Duty Warzone map kind of gets going, I don't know how they're going to fit into the context of Warzone. Because when I'm using the STG, even with a lot of recoil reducing attachments, I still feel like I'm getting a lot of kick and a lot of jerkiness. And of course there's a pattern that you can kind of figure out, but when you can run the Kilo, or you can run the M4 or the XM4 or the Krig and have a beam, there's not really a whole lot of reason to use a gun like the STG. And when you can have a gun like the MAC-10 or the PPSH that just doesn't recoil at all, even as an SMG, why would you run the MP40 or the Tommy gun? You know, and I'm talking about the Cold War PPSH, not the Vanguard one. So you get what I'm saying here? It's gonna be an interesting thing to see once they integrate these guns heavily into Warzone. It'll be a cool thing to see how they do it. Will they reduce the recoil for Warzone? Will the guns behave differently in Warzone? Because it's all the same engine, right? It's not like the Cold War versus Warzone engine where it was two different ways the guns behave. No, it's going to be the same thing. So it'll be very interesting to see how the guns behave in Warzone compared to how they behave in the multiplayer, and I'm not sure I'm thrilled about it. The recoil as it stands right now, very suspicious. It'll be interesting to see how it fits in Warzone. The last major negative that I have so far is there's a lot of attachments for your guns. It will take a very long time to level these guns up all the way to their maximum level and use them at their highest capacity. So what's going to be unfortunate is for people like me who like to totally level a gun all the way up, unlock all of the camos for it, and then move on to the next gun, you're not going to have as much variety off the jump. Everybody else will be kind of running these half-leveled builds of other guns, and you'll be running a fully leveled build of the one gun you've used. And it's kind of like the Bruce Lee thing, like better to know one gun really well than know all the guns, kind of. I'm happy about that, but I'm also kind of disappointed that it isn't easier to level them up, kind of like how Modern Warfare 2019 was. They leveled up pretty quickly, you unlocked camos pretty quickly. Doesn't quite feel that way in Vanguard, at least as of right now. Maybe they'll tweak that moving forward, but yeah, another thing I'm not super thrilled about. Takes a little long to level the guns, but nothing crazy. Overall, though, as you can see, I have a lot more positives to say about Vanguard than I have negatives. So, with any luck, they'll keep polishing the game, making it better, and the new content will just keep making the game better and better and better and better until Of course, Call of Duty 2022 comes out, which has been rumored to be Modern Warfare Squared, or whatever they're going to end up calling it. So, yeah, as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please click like down below. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss another TP Game Boys video. Streaming will be happening soon. I'm not sure if we're going to start a new Twitch channel for TP Game Boys or if we'll just keep using the other Twitch channels that we already have. Links in the bio for Twitter and all the other fun stuff. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Comment down below. Last video's question was, what color shirt are you wearing? This video's question is, what's the last thing that you ate? What did you eat for lunch today? That's the question for today. Love you guys. See you soon.